6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Through Black and White Eyes. We're gonna review the Brentford game yesterday. Welcome to the match reaction. Difficult as it may be, I for one will totally. I think I speak for all of us here at Through Black and White Eyes. We remain totally behind the club. We'll figure this out. You know, if everybody was to just bail and the stadium was empty, what's the point? No, we're firmly behind Eddie and the club. Let's go. Please like, share, and subscribe and hype the channel after the show is over. It's all free. Join for as little as 99p a month or donate using the super chat if you feel able. Please adhere to standard community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and of course, enjoy the show. Good to see everybody. I see a lot of regulars in the chat. There's Gary, there's Doggy Pals, there's Les, there's Scotty. I'll bring the guys in. There's Scotty. Hey, Scotty, how are you?
Evening all.
And let's bring in great evening, Mr. Devlin. Let's bring in our esteemed host in. How you feeling there, pal?
Rough. I'll tell you the funniest thing I saw last night, right? It was.
Go ahead.
You've seen the Mac and Raver and the Geordie Dancer, haven't you?
Yes. Yep.
Well, I've seen the Yorkshire Mover last night. I'm telling you, Chris, the lad I work with, my God, he was enjoying himself more than I was.
Well, great. Well, every once in a while you're entitled to let your hair down, so to speak, and just get out there and it was an ex-manager's retirement due, yeah?
Yeah, two people retired. My ex-boss.
There you go.
And Pete Stewart. They've been at the company for like 25 plus years each.
Yep.
They took early redundancy when it came around and went off into the sunset. So we had a good night, lots of laughs. My back is killing because my boss's daughter was there with her 2 children, and they decided to take a liking to me. So I ended up flinging them around everywhere on the dance floor as you do. They had rollerblade shoes on and things like that. I'm just in pain.
I was going to say you become the jungle gym. Absolutely. Yep.
Pretty much. And then I walked home 5, maybe 6K at 12 o'clock. Didn't get back until 1:30.
Oh.
It's not big. It's not clever. And it's not happening again. Until next time.
Until next time. I was going to say, we've got an evening coming up here in February that might after the post show might be something. So we'll have to be careful. Thankfully, it's a Friday night. So
yes.
Good evening, Owen. Good to see you. So is our guest coming?
I don't know. He was struggling a little bit because I think he was doing a live radio show most of the day. But he said he was going to watch the game and come on. I've sent him the link, but I haven't had a reply. So
that's fine. Yeah.
If he pops in, he pops in. It'd be great to get someone who's been in the industry like he has for so long, and also not a Newcastle fan's opinion on what he thinks is going on at our football club.
Yeah.
Are you sure you looked home, Baz? There's a video certain of a guy crawling along the pavement before the minutes. I didn't have rollerblades on there. Those trainers with the wheels and the heel,
they're called Heelys.
Heelys, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely walked home. I was one of those wankers who had his phone on YouTube listening to music on the way home, full pelt. Yeah.
Well, like I said, entitled every once in a while, right?
Just once in a while. Oh God.
So head's a bit minging.
Head's minging, stomach's minging. Didn't get out of bed till 3:30 this afternoon because I couldn't stand up. Sweats a lot.
Jules, claiming that last night was your training session for the after show after the big do at Benfield. So
if that was my training session, it's not going very well.
All right. Well, there's Harry. So So Harry Fieldhouse wants to know if we should have kept Callum Wilson.
At the time, no. Would I?
I would have had him in January.
Yeah, as a free transfer of West Ham, we're going to let him go. I would have definitely come back. But at the time his contract ran out, it was the right thing to do. The club needs to move forward. Unfortunately, the two strikers we have bought aren't mixing well, are they? So it's
Baz, did we start Instagram?
Oh, sugar, no.
I didn't. I didn't either. So
there we go. It's live now.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Completely forgot.
Oh no, you did. Something happened because it's in sync with what we're doing.
I've just started it now. So.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, how would you like to start talking about yesterday? Obviously we got to start talking about lineups and such and see if we have that to look at.
So the lineups. I haven't put the lineups in.
Okay, all right. Were you surprised?
No, not really. Not with the injuries we had. I didn't see the whole 90 minutes. I'll tell you a story later on when we get to the final goal. But the lineup, I was quite pleased. Bruno was back. We all know we win games when Bruno plays, so that kind of gave me that extra bit of confidence. I thought the midfield three was right. I was a bit surprised at Jacob Murphy though. I thought after Elanga's appearance against Man City, coming on, scoring the goal he did, there's the confidence booster he needed.
Yep.
You kind of just knocked his confidence again by saying that you're on the bench again, when really it's probably should have been in line for a start.
That was the general consensus online yesterday when the 11 came out.
Was Dan Burn on the bench. Just shows you he does not pick his favourites. He doesn't have favourites. He picks the team that he thinks is going to win the match. So we need to stop all this favourite rubbish. It does my head in. Because Dan Burn was one of the favourites, and everyone said you would not drop Dan Burn for Botman or Chow, and that's exactly what he did yesterday. He picked the two best centre-backs in the club. But as we go on to discuss the goals, they probably weren't.
I was watching a punter on YouTube earlier today saying, we've got to stop wheeling out the we're knackered business, that we're fatigued, that you look at the other clubs that are in the top 6, the top 7 of the table right now, they seem to be dealing it with just fine. And I'm sitting there going, okay, but there's only 3 or 4 that are in 4 competitions now, 3 competitions still. Yeah. The others have gone out.
Deeper squads as well, don't they?
And there's the argument about the deeper squads or the better squad depth, and then you get into the argument again of how did Chelsea build their squad over the last 20 years? How has Man City built their squad over the last 12 years? This, that, and the other. It just. I was explaining this to my father-in-law yesterday. He was just like, wouldn't you want to? I mean, isn't the whole idea is to be into all these different competitions at the same time? He's like, well, yeah, that's how you build wealth. It's the revenue that comes with all that. Yeah. The issue at hand is we're playing catch up because for 14 years we did nothing. And again, there's lots of people that say, well, you spent big, you've spent 250 million, you've spent $500 million. I'm sitting there going, okay, we spent in the first winter window, we spent in that summer window, we spent in the summer window of 23 because that's when we brought Barnes in, and then we spent in this last window. In terms of the first team, those are the only 4 windows out of 10 that we were present in. So we can continue to make.
It's getting older. It's getting the same. It's we need fresh. You need fresh talent coming in all the time.
Yep.
If you want to keep progressing and you want your bench and squad to get bigger, you've got to keep improving the first team and having people fight for their positions. At the moment, with the injuries, the midfield three picks itself. The striker line is a little bit more up in the air, but the defence picks itself as well because Trippier doesn't have any, anyone on his back at the moment. Lewis Hall doesn't have anyone on his back. Two of the three are going to play from the centre backs because there's 2 spots for 3 players. There's not enough. Big taxi. That's what.
Yeah.
My mom was doing. Oh man, that's just come back to me. That. So the team sort of almost picks itself, even when you look at the strength on the bench. I mean, you bring
Harry, leave that one alone, lad.
Yeah.
Not
Harry,
for you, mate.
A bit too young for that one.
Same thing with Owen. Owen, do not
Google it unless you're in your bedroom, you've locked your door, and you've got your phone on silent.
I'm going to tell your mom.
Please do not.
Right. Okay. So Scotty gets his mug in his hand. So I was going to ask him a question, and
yo,
Scotty would like Baz just said, given Elanga's form in the cup game against Man City, would you have liked to have seen him in the starting 11 instead?
Yes.
I agree. Yep.
I think he's done him a disjustice by not starting him. What I do want to see is the whole feel around the ground again was very much a tentative atmosphere. Yet, we had that Champions League game where you could tell the atmosphere was fantastic. It was positive. Even from us, you could just tell from the fans there was a nervousness, and I think that's starting to show on the pitch as well. There's not a good vibe around the whole stadium at the minute. But yes, I would like to. Elanga should have started. Yeah.
Yep. I agree. There's this. Yeah, I wanted to address this one. I wanted to address it at some point. Baz, come on, let's be honest.
No.
Hold on. Wait.
Come on.
At halftime of the Man City game.
Yeah.
Once you get into that 55, 60 minute mark, and you're not coming back from 5-0 down.
I get what you're saying for that. Yes, absolutely.
At that point, you throw your Alex Murphys on, you throw your Leo Saharas on, you throw your Sean Neves on.
They're stupid. Oh, am I back?
You're good. You're here. You never left.
Oh, it did for me. It completely froze, and I couldn't hear anything that was going on.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I mean, at that point, we're not coming back from 5-0 down.
No, you're right.
There's absolutely nothing to lose. Throwing the kids out there and giving them a shot. You might be surprised.
And I get what you're saying in that game. Completely agree. If we're playing a League 2 side in the FA Cup. Completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a chance. But we're talking about a Premier League game against Brentford, who are flying high at the moment and playing really well.
Yep.
There is no room for errors. Those players are not good enough to come off the bench and do something in this game. Because, we even brought Asula on. What did he do? Which was the other thing I was going to mention. Again, bad decision-making when he was passing.
This is going to be a hard one, Harry. That would be a difficult one to achieve, mate.
just a little bit. Unless he's
do you not think, though, if he'd have played a few of the young'uns against City, the starting X would have been a bit fresher? Put them on late, though. Should we not start with the Neves? Because we weren't coming back from it. No, should he have rested a few of the other lads for Brentford?
But then you're also showing a disrespect to all the travelling fans, aren't you? That's the other argument.
Do you not think the travelling fans would have understood? Because as a Newcastle fan, I would have done. Even though I haven't travelled. I'd have, if the lineup would have been weakened, I'd have gone, hold on a minute, he's thinking of Brentford here.
Yeah. I get the argument, but I don't get the argument that he's saying there that surely the players have got to be given a chance. Now, we are 8th in the second tier of the under-23s. You think about the jump from League... That's like literally asking a League 2 player to jump into the Premier League and just hit the ground running.
100%.
It's not going to happen. And this is why I'm kind of getting...
I don't know. It worked for Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, but he went through the stages though, didn't he? He didn't just jump in as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old.
I know.
19-year-old.
I
Do
know.
you know what I mean? But this is. I'm just. Everyone keeps saying it. Give these guys a chance. But we're talking. We could potentially be in a relegation battle soon. That's how bad our
potentially,
form is.
yeah.
So
this is why I'm wondering, should he arrested some?
Against Man City, yes, but the argument about playing them in the future, when games are on the line, like the Brentford game was, you can't just throw them in and hope for the best.
No. Totally agree.
They're not good enough, guys. They're really not. How many people have been inside the club are buzzing about any of the young players at the moment? There was Miley. Miley's name was mentioned loads of times before he made it into the starting 11 and got into the squad. I'm not hearing anything about the Parks that we bought, the Harrisons, who else?
Alfie Harrison, I think, left during the window.
There's the other one we got from Man City. Forget his name now. We all thought he was going to be Alfie Harrison, wasn't it?
That's the one. That's the one. I think
Harrison Ashby's the defender.
I know. I'm talking.
He left as well.
Alfie Harrison and Harrison Ashby are both out.
There you go. So that just shows you that they were meant to be players who could potentially bridge the gap from under 23s to first 11. And we've sold them because they're not good enough. Because we've been offered money for them. That's the problem with our under 23s at the moment, under 22s, under 21s, whatever level we are. We are not going to see the fruits of our labor from the youngsters for at least 4 years' time.
Yeah.
That is the harsh reality of where we are as a football club when it comes to the young players. We're starting to buy 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds who could be stars, but they're not going to develop until they hit 18, 19, 20. So that's when we'll see the fruits of the labor again.
My argument to you there, Baz, is we saw Park Sun-Soo play in preseason. And while not a world beater, he did look like he had some talent in his legs.
Yeah,
there's one that we could, and as been pointed out in the chat, he scored for the under 23s the other night, or the under 21s. Okay, great, he scored, and then the other kid scored two. Ferreira scored two. That doesn't mean, as you said, if they're in 8th place in the 2nd division of the under 23s, that doesn't mean that they're ready to go straight into the first team's bench. But the fact that Alex Murphy and Leo Shahar and Sean Neve have been on that bench now for most of the season.
Yeah.
I know that they're meant to be depth. I know that they're meant to be depth players, and you're keeping them around the first team so that they're getting used to the scheduling, and they're getting experience in terms of first team operations. But if you're never going to get them out on the field, if you're never going to put them on the pitch, what's the point in them being there? At least bring them on for 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, give them a chance to get out there, and then you get some relief to the other guys.
Yeah,
but I think
again, you've got to be winning the games comfortably to do that. We're not doing that at the moment.
Or if you're not winning the games comfortably, Baz. I mean, if you're 3-0 down at that point. Do you say sod it and just say bring them on and let them get some minutes in their legs? Or are you going to continue to flog the guys that are out there hoping for the half chance that you might be able to put one goal in the net and get a consolation?
Goal difference is huge in this league sometimes. Remember, it was putting us ahead of Sunderland when we were joint points. So if you throw them on, you could be running the risk of letting in more. The City game finished 3-1. If we made all those changes at half time, that game could have easily been 5-6-7-0 instead.
Yeah.
It was in the cup. It didn't really matter. But it's confidence levels. It's things like that as well. I get where you're coming from. I want to see the best players out there all the time, and I think everyone else does.
Harry, to answer your question, John has an open invitation to come to the show anytime he wants to. He's included in our chat. He gets the link, so he's able to come in. He's got a really busy home life right now as a grandpa. So we'll see if we will definitely see John in Newcastle in a couple of weeks' time. And if Baz and Scott and I are on online, if we're on anywhere live doing anything, you'll see John. I guarantee it. So we do have a guest in the background there, Baz. He's been in the studio for a bit. So you want to bring him on? Hi, Elton.
Good evening.
Yo.
Hi guys, you okay?
Good evening.
Commiserations for the other day. I gather you've been discussing that quite a lot. So I only had a couple of observations. One, I really do think you missed Joe Linton.
Yeah,
we do.
I honestly thought Guimarães was almost anonymous for most of it, and I can't understand why. Has he got a problem? And also, reading between the lines, I think it's the last you'll see of Tonali between now and the end of the season.
Do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I know someone who knows it. I know someone who knows his agent. Rios, is it? Senior. Yeah, I know somebody who knows his agent, and apparently he's looking to depart.
Oh boy, there you go. So if that is true, that is unfortunate. But I thought with Tonali, he still owed us another year for how we looked after him.
Yeah.
You know,
well, he's saying one thing and his agent's saying the other, which again, which is a little bit unusual when they normally sing from the same hymn sheet, but he's saying what he feels he has to say, in probably in light of what happened with Isak. But his agent is working to get him elsewhere.
My understanding, Elton, is that he and his missus were very happy to be here. They were very thankful for the support that he got during his ban and such. But once the little one came, she is feeling very homesick and wanting to get back to Milan. Is what I'm hearing. So she wants to relocate, and there's every possibility that that's probably.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that bit. All I know is from a friend of mine who knows the agent that they are making waves for him to depart. That's all. That's all I know. I can't be more enlightening than that.
The only problem is can the Italians afford him?
Right.
The fee will be high. A lot of Italian clubs don't have that kind
of.
Well,
AC were going to pay, what was it, 40-something million for Mateta, weren't they? They were going to, had it,
You can double that for Tonali, though. We paid 55 for him. We ain't going to be taking anything less than 60, 70, 80 million. We're not going to be giving them back to them. 20.
He'll be 20. Yeah. He's going 25. To be 26.
26 in this year.
Oh, well, in that case, yes, the price will be higher.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder if any Italian team can afford him, to be fair. So it's all right wanting to go back home, but you need the buyer.
What do you think of this comment there, Baz? Len, I'm not so sure, mate.
No, he's a very, very good player. Very, very good. He's just going through, being a dad, he's had an illness, he's lost a lot of weight. His performances of late haven't been fantastic, but I don't think it's out of that he wants to leave is why he's playing bad. I think it's just he's having a dip in form. We'll see what happens. Your Bruno one, Bruno's just come back from an injury, so that was his first game back after 3 weeks. He was I thought he played
because second half come around about the 65 minute mark. Brentford started defending very deep, and it needed someone to unlock it, someone with special skills and technique to unlock that. And of course, you did because you got the penalty. But then I thought Newcastle were very, very naive after that.
Yeah,
because basically, Ouattara was on his own up front. It was only his pace that was going to bother you, and of course, he ended up scoring what turned out to be the winning goal. I thought it was very naive to leave him virtually isolated and unmarked.
I mean, let's face it. In the last 4 or 5 games, our midfield has been missing when it comes to defending. they're all bombing forward. They're all trying to win the game, but they're forgetting they've got a duty to also defend our goal. And there was one time, it was in the first half, when the Brentford defender just took on one player and then he ran about 40 yards before he even got anyone near him. Was that in the first half?
I think it was actually, yeah.
Just literally put the afterburners on and just went flying. And I'm like, well, who's stopping them? And I think they got a corner from it.
Yes, I think the commentator said the guy was doing a Van der Veen impression.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the one, isn't it? Yeah.
He was quick, but that's the issue.
I couldn't believe. I'm thinking, well, someone's going to tackle him, surely. You know?
No one got near him. It was mental.
Exactly. Elton's 100% right. J7 would have gotten into him. Yep. Yeah. Losing that bit of steel in our midfield is what's hurting us right now. But because Ramsey wants to carry the ball forward, Bruno wants to carry the ball forward, Tonali wants to carry the ball forward. And to your point, both of your points, one of them has to be instructed. No, your job is to sit in front of those back four and make sure that you're the first line of defense before they can get there. You know, you need to be blocking everything, pushing everything to the touch lines and pushing it out if necessary. Say again.
Tonali was very good at doing that. I don't know what he used to read the game so well, and he would break things up before they actually developed. And that seems to be what we're missing at the moment, is his reading of the game, because he's maybe being asked he needs to be more of a forward player rather than a defensive player. So it's very, very frustrating.
Maybe he's got minds on other things. His mind's elsewhere. Sort of thing. You know, I don't know.
That's him. He's the one who ran up the pitch and no one.
Ayer,
as I pronounce it.
And he was another one of those defenders, Baz, that we were after before he went to Brentford.
Yes.
You know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, he was one of those ones that we were after, that we thought we had, and then he decided to go to a London club instead.
Yeah. Well, that's going to happen all the time, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
What did you make of the penalties? I didn't realise the rule that someone pointed out to me with Murphy's one, that if the ball's stopped by a hand, even though he's not deliberately doing it, and it's going on goal, and it's
goal,
it's a penalty. I didn't realise that. I thought his arm was in a natural position and it just hit him, and there was nothing he could do about it. But apparently, the rule is, because it was going in, they've got to give a penalty.
That's the argument I was trying to make in the pub yesterday, everyone. I was sitting there going, he was making his body smaller. You can see he's moving the hand out of the way. He was not trying to get bigger. He was not looking to stop the ball. I wasn't aware of that rule either. That's, you know, are we absolutely guaranteed that the ball was heading to the goal?
Yeah, I watched Match of the Day last night. I don't always watch it, but I did last night. And Alan Shearer was making the point that we should just go back to deliberate handball.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, no one knows what handball is. You don't, you don't. Nobody knows what handball is. And, you know, when it goes to VAR, if a different guy is operating VAR, then he will say, go and have a look at the monitor or whatever, or it's all clear, that's fine. It just depends who's doing VAR, and it shouldn't.
No, it goes down to interpretation, doesn't it?
They can't interpret the rule. So how the hell we're meant to? God only knows. It should just go back to deliberate handball. It would eradicate half the talking points that we go on about these days, because no one knows what it is. No one knows.
I don't get it. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't think our penalty was a penalty either. I think it was.
I don't think so. I did too. I said it would have been hard.
And I don't think the one with Trips was a penalty either, because when you took someone back, you don't dive forward.
Well, the thing about the Trippier one was that he could have been sent off. He could have been.
It could have been, yeah. But I don't think he held his shirt long enough. I don't think it made that much of a difference. And when the player rose himself to the ground after he's been let go, and he goes forward, not backwards, because he was pulled backwards, not forwards. He just threw himself to the ground, and that to me was terrible.
It was given, so he should have been sent off.
For the Trippier one, if he was good,
Trippier
he'd sent off. But
the penalty you got, I just thought just a clash of legs. I don't think it was a deliberate trip. I just thought, two guys running very close to each other, one leg hits another. That's not necessarily a foul.
No, it's not.
And I didn't think it was under those circumstances. And I didn't think as much was made of it at the time, or even on Saturday night, as there should have been. Because to me, I thought, because I'm a total ignoramus at the moment regarding the rules and what they regard to be a foul, what they regard to be handball, I just don't get it. But as far as that one was concerned, I thought, to me, it's not a penalty.
No.
I agree with you, Elton.
The first one's not apparently either, because his touch is so bad, he's not getting the ball anyway, and he realizes that, and he throws himself to the floor trying to get a penalty.
Do you not think Chips has been a bit naive though, pulling him back?
Yeah.
If that was us, we would want it, wouldn't we?
Oh, it would, but then you would look at him again. He's thrown himself to the ground because he wants a penalty, because his touch is terrible and he's not going to get the ball. So,
did you see the conclusion to the game this afternoon?
No, I didn't. But I've seen the disallowed goal. That shouldn't have been a disallowed goal. Yeah.
It was the ending where Newcastle. I've got the Magpies on the brain. where City scored a third goal. The referee obviously saw there was an infringement, but he let it go. It's a goal anyway, so he let it go, and he blew his whistle, full-time whistle, and VAR came in and said, "Well, yeah, but before the full-time whistle, and before that ball went into the net, Soboslai pulled back. I forget who it was. He pulled, so actually, he should be sent off."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the goal disallowed, because the goal was scored after the referee had blown. After the infringement.
Yeah.
It was just a crazy ending to a game of football you've ever seen. Anyway, you want to talk about Newcastle? Carry on.
It finished 2-1, so they obviously disallowed the goal. But I saw the incident and I was just like, I've only seen the clip on Twitter, and it's just mental how that happened.
But this is where, last point on this, where VAR should use common sense.
Yes.
And they shouldn't have stopped the game. Once the referee stopped the game, they didn't. They took the game back. It was back to the future. It was ridiculous. The game had ended.
Yeah, the sense of
3-1 to Man
City.
City. Well. And Soboslai now serves a 3-game ban, which means Liverpool haven't got a right back of any description at the moment.
Yeah.
Wait, so how many games is he out, and when do we play them? Wait.
You could be missing our game. Like Romero's missing our game against Spurs as well for his
on Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there we go.
That's a must win that on Tuesday, mind.
My Spurs supporting friends that are saying that, welcome to 3 points. Well done. Have fun to that on Tuesday, because there's no way they're
going at it at the minute. So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be handbags at 20 paces.
Spurs beat Spursy, hopefully.
We could have done with a Joe Linton.
Yeah.
I don't know when he's back. No. Which is a shame. Elton, your thoughts on the Eddie Howe situation? I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on it as an outsider. The booing at the end of the game, I thought was terrible. A lot of online fans are saying Eddie Howe out. If you ask any normal Newcastle fan inside the ground, I would say 90% of it is still on Eddie Howe's side. I think someone said, Luke Edwards said, be careful what you wish for as well. He sacked the manager. Who's going to come in? Is it going to be any better? What are your feelings looking at the situation of our football club right now?
Well, look back less than 12 months. He was as safe as houses then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think you'd make a grave mistake if you got rid of Eddie Howe. I think he's a very fine manager. He's being dealt a pretty bad hand at the moment. But all managers, all teams go through dodgy spells. They all do. I mean, look at Liverpool now. There's question marks over Arne's slot.
Yeah.
He won the league. Less than 12 months ago, they were champions.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I suppose it's the nature of the game now that, unless you're winning, the manager is under pressure, isn't he? You know? But I think it'd be a grave mistake. Who said that before? Be careful for what you wish for. I think that's very, very, very apt in Newcastle and Eddie Howe's case at the moment. Look at what happened to West Ham. Okay, they're showing a little bit of resurgence under Nuno, but the fans got David Moyes out. We benefited, we being Everton. But look what's happened to West Ham since David Moyes has left.
Yeah.
That club is in a hell of a state. Any West Ham fans, watching, I feel sorry for you. I really do. You don't deserve it. But the club is it's very poorly run.
Yeah.
And that's the main problem there.
There we go. There's another one. That's a good one there. Even Goldbridge, who I'm not a fan of him, but even he says it would be absolutely silly to do it.
And Elton, I put that to our we have a Twitter chat group that Baz and Scotty and I are in. We talk about these things behind the scenes. I said, all right, okay, say Monday he gets his P45 and he's out. Who are you going to bring in? You're not going to get Pep. You're not going to get Xavi. You're Alonso. You're not going to get. Don't say Mourinho. You're not going to get. Some people says, well, Glasner will work. Glasner has a job. Right now, he says he's leaving at the end of the season, but right now he has a job. He's not going to just jump at the first opportunity. And for me, Glasner is a lateral move for me. He's the same level of manager as Eddie Howe. I don't see where a replacement would come in. I don't know who you'd get. What, you're going to leave Graham Jones and Jason Tyndall in interim effect until the end of the season?
Tyndall would go anyway.
Tyndall would go anyway, yeah.
He didn't when Eddie left Bournemouth. That's what I'm saying.
I think he'll go with him.
How about Big Sam?
We've had him once before, Elton.
I know you have.
Pardew.
Pardew's on TalkSport now.
No, we're not getting Mourinho. Right, Mourinho's just got a lovely job at Benfica, and he's doing very, very well there. He's found his new level now. He's not Premier League manager now for me. I think that would be again plus the very, very reason why we're struggling at the moment is PSR. Mourinho would not have an open checkbook like he did at City, and he will not be able to buy the team that he wants, or Chelsea. Sorry, City. I don't know why I said City. Chelsea and Spurs, he could have had. He bought a lot of players.
Or Man U.
Yeah, or Man United. There's no way we could feed him the players that he would want.
He did a great job at Manchester United, by the way.
He did. He did a very, very good job.
He did.
I should never have sacked him, to be fair.
You could replace him with, because there isn't anybody out there. We're going through a rocky patch. Yeah, fine. You stick with him. He'll get us through it.
Yeah.
We'll get through the summer and we'll go again. There's nobody to replace at the minute.
I love this comment. I love Eddie, but he needs to start putting the lads on the training field and stop this excuse of we play every 3 days. You can't be on the training field if you're on a plane going to another place.
Yeah.
They're constantly traveling game to game to game. If they're not playing a game, they're traveling either to or from a game.
If you don't want to play 3 games in a week, then don't qualify for Europe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to play 3 games a week. We just don't have the squad to be able to cope with it. This is the problem. And I know it sounds like it's making excuses, but it's not an excuse. We had a summer that was just not what we wanted at all. Losing Isak, a world-class striker, and I hate using his name, but when you lose him on the last day of the window and then sign 2 strikers and then one of them has a bum knee before he's even kicked the ball for us, to be honest with you, our season was over before we'd even kicked off with what happened.
It looked bad at the time, I must admit.
Exactly. So
the thing with Ekatike, who obviously ended up in Liverpool, has been Liverpool's best signing, by the way.
Yeah.
That you wanted him because you thought Isak was going. Liverpool wanted him because they thought Isak wasn't coming.
Yeah.
And it turned out Liverpool get the 2 of them, and you end up, sort of
screwed.
scrambling around to get someone to play number 9. You know,
It was a comedy of errors, wasn't it, Elton? I mean,
one of them. Oh yeah, very much so. But one of them's injured. Voldemort hit the ground running, but I think that could be about as far as he goes. To be honest with you, he hasn't impressed me a great deal.
Possibly, we've got to come to that one because PSR is always going to be there. It's not an excuse. It's part of football now.
Yeah.
You have to be able to somehow boost your cash flow to be able to go out and buy the players that you want. This squad rotation one that's coming in soon. Do you know we have the 8th highest wages in the Premier League? 8th. Now, when you buy something, if you're only paying for the 8th highest, you're likely to finish 7th, 8th, or 9th. For us to finish 5th would mean we were outdoing what we actually put out when it comes to paying for quality. This is why Chelsea's, Liverpool's, Man City's, Arsenal's always stay at the top, because they are able to offer bigger wages to better players. It's not an excuse. It's a fact of life, unfortunately, now with football.
Acronyms seem to be dominating football, don't they? PSR, VAR, the PGMOL,
WTF.
When I was in the hot seat on High TV, we never talked about acronyms.
No, you didn't.
I didn't even know what it meant.
There was no
I think you're right, Elton. And let's go back to the basic rules of the game. A handball is a handball because it was a deliberate handball. If it's the question is it ball to hand or hand to ball? If the hand goes out there and stops the ball, there you go. That's a handball. If it hits the hand in the box, there's what can you do? So there you go. I agree. So Baz, we've had a couple of questions and they've come with donations. We had Harry has asked. Yeah, Harry asked if we had to sign one position to Newcastle, which position would you sign?
Right now.
And I'll start with you, Scotty. What do you think?
Oh, there's so many places at the minute.
But you're bang on one. You know you're going to sign someone. What position are you looking at? I think we'll be in agreement. Goalkeeper. Oh.
Goalkeeper.
Sorry, you're not getting Pickford.
To win.
I don't think you'd be welcome.
Who was it that said it on Match of the Day tonight? I think it was Roy Keane. To win the league, to win anything, you need a world-class goalkeeper. We need a world-class goalkeeper.
Yep. We don't.
Okay. Fair enough. Baz?
Well, to win football matches, you need to score goals.
There you go.
So a striker. One that's actually going to bang goals in. We need to find another Shearer somehow.
We need to find a striker who's going to give us 20 goals a season guaranteed.
20, 25, 30 if you want to win the league.
Yep. Mine is going to be a little bit of different, only because I keep seeing it. I still think left back is where we need it, because we lose Lewis Hall, the wheels come off.
Yeah.
It's strange that, because your both fullbacks were like joint man of the match when you won at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. They were magnificent that day.
You're 100% right, Elton. We are missing Tino Livramento something fierce right now, simply because he gives us something that Trippier doesn't. I mean, Tino Livramento is not. Well, he's not the fastest player, but he gives us more than Trippier does. Trippier's 35-year-old legs just aren't what they used to be. Exactly. So, thanks, Harry. We agree. We are very much an Eddie in channel, and we're not. I hate that term. We are not happy clappers. We are behind our football club. And right now, being realists, if Eddie Howe was to leave right now, who would you get in? And I've seen all the different recommendations or suggestions in the comments, and I don't see any of them coming. The names that are being mentioned there, a lot of them will come with the expectation of, well, give me £500 million, pounds to spend, and I'll win the league. And well,
it's not championship manager.
We can't do that right now. So What was the other one? So he's striker. There's Evan Ferguson. Isn't he the one that was at Brighton? He's on loan somewhere this season. I don't remember where he's on loan.
He went to Roma. He went to Roma, didn't he?
There you go. Yep.
But I'm not sure. I've got a funny feeling he might have gone somewhere else in January. Or I read that he might do, and I never found out whether he did or he didn't. But he certainly was at Roma, which was highly annoying for Evertonians because, of course, Roma is our sister club. We have the same ownership.
Got it.
And, we so desperately need a centre forward who can hold the ball up and contribute in that way, as well as scoring, hopefully, 15 goals a season. We haven't got one of those. We've got two who try, but, they're not.
Are you missing DCL right now, Elton?
DCL, the way he's been playing for Leeds, he would certainly be playing for Everton now. But it was time for him to go. That sounds like a contradiction, but it's not really. It was time. I don't think he'd be doing for Everton what he's been doing for Leeds. I just think he'd become stale at Everton.
So Ferguson's still at Roma. He's played.
I'm not sure about it.
I'm saying he is. I'm reading it now. He's still at Roma.
Oh, you've confirmed. Sorry.
Yeah. Brilliant. Total played 16, started 10, scored 3. So he's not exactly tearing the league up.
No, but Roma aren't doing badly at all in Serie A. They could win the title. It's more likely going to be Napoli or AC, but Roma are in there. They're in with a shout. And so he must have been doing reasonably well. Maybe not a goal machine, but reasonably well in terms of their overall play.
Right.
If they're right up there in Serie A. And that's something we need, Everton need, as much as someone who could possibly find the net for 15 to 20 times a season. We need someone who, we've got some very good midfield players, but we haven't got someone up front and outlet for them. Are you
missing Grealish right now as well, Elton?
Not as much as I thought we would.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, not as much as I thought we would. We had an excellent win, at Fulham, who are a good team at home, good side at Craven Cottage, and we had an excellent win. We'd have very briefly on Everton, I just said Newcastle programme, very quickly on Everton. I have never seen a team who can play so badly in the first half and then come out without changes and play like Brazil. It's unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. And I can't come to terms with it at all. I don't understand how that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's happened about 3 or 4 times on the spin now. It's not a fluke. What happened at Fulham wasn't a fluke.
Yep.
The fact that they turned it on second half. No.
Yeah, look at this comment just breaks my heart. I like what Jules said up here. Happy clappers as a phrase annoys me because we have to sit and accept negative/realistic comments as gospel. But if we disagree, we are denying their right to have an opinion. Yet in return, they throw that phrase at those who disagree. It's ironic and disrespectful. Mm-hmm. So I am supportive of the club because it's my club. That's it. I want the club to do well. Whoever's in the hot seat at the moment, I want that person. I wish that person nothing but success. I'm not looking to drive Eddie Howe out of the club at all. He's in my. I started following the team during the early Keegan years. So I've had Keegan, I've had Robson, I've had Hulett, I've had Dalglish, I've had. I could go down a list.
Allardyce.
Allardyce. We've had Allardyce. We've had Roeder. We've had Souness. We've had, Joe Kinnear twice. We could go on and on and on. Eddie gave us the one thing that we've all been striving to have for generations. We finally got our hands on a trophy. And then he had to sit and watch his best player, arguably his best player, down tools and do nothing, and then go on strike. And then on top of that, he goes to have a holiday, to get a couple of days off, reset, and 3 days in, he finds out that his director of football has handed in his resignation, has left the club. The summer, as Baz said, was an absolute nightmare for our guy. And you could just, looking at him in the press conference yesterday, he's tired. He's just tired of it all. He needs a break. I mean, he's in Championship Manager. In Championship Managers, there's an option where, or Football Manager, there's an option where the manager can go on holiday. There's part of me that says send Eddie Howe on holiday for right now. He needs 2 weeks in Fiji or Bali or something. Let him just sit on the beach and not think about football for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating, isn't it? But that's life at the top. If you're not winning games, you are going to get criticised. The thing is, for me, when you're not winning, there's a way to support your club still and a way to support the manager. Yeah. I could understand people wanting Eddie Howe out if, seasons before were as bad as what this blip is. But we're talking about a blip. It happened 2 years ago when we got Champions League football. Last time we finished 7th. And everyone considered that as a terrible season. Now, then the following year, we win a trophy. It's like, Jesus Christ, what's happened here? Then we get Champions League football again. And the cycle's repeating itself because we haven't been able to bolster the squad. The squad depth is not there. And now we're facing the consequences of 3 games in a week again. And it's the only way you're going to break that cycle, like Elton says, is you don't qualify for Europe for a couple of seasons and then you play once a week. But we need to be in Europe to be able to afford the better players and to attract the better players. You're stuck in a cycle that is very hard to break.
I believe they called that.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
And so the only way you break it is if you finish in the top 5, because 5th spot is almost always going to be Champions League football these days with how many English clubs we have that do really well in that competition. You need to be in it for 3 years in a row because then that gets your cash flow up, that gets the money in, and then that attracts the big players. That's the only way you break the cycle in a good way.
And I say, Elton, I think the phrase that they used to use for that is a catch-22.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt, Baz. I was just about to say
6-7.
exactly the same thing.
6-7.
It's just it's hard. Yeah, you have to keep flying in order to be called insane, but you can't be insane
between a rock and a hard place.
Yep. Let's see. He's
rock and a hard
exhausted
place is the one
mentally.
I use a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, he is, and this is the pressures that you have when you're dealing with multi-million-pound business in football. You're going to be scrutinised. I mean, even when he's doing well, people still complain at times. There's so many moaners in our fan base. Even when we win, well, he should have done this better. He should have done that better. We should have put them to. I remember when we beat Burnley 3-1 away from home. Well, we shouldn't have conceded. We should have been hammering them 4-5-0. Burnley have only been beaten and conceded 3 goals about 3 times this season. They're a tough team at their ground normally to play against. And then you get these people complaining because we're Newcastle United, we should be beating these 5-6-7-0. No, it's not how football works.
I think, would you agree across the board, I'm asking the panel, would you agree that we overachieved in that second year?
Yes, 100%.
We qualified for the Champions League and we didn't prepare for it. For whatever reason, again, we had the turmoil in the boardroom, that kind of thing that season.
Well, we tried to prepare for it. We bought Toon Army and he got banned for a year. He was bought for Champions League football, and then we lose him for a full season. We didn't have the budget to go out and buy another player for that kind of money. So there's so many things that have happened that have been out of Eddie Howe's control. And don't get me wrong, qualifying for the Champions League the way we did was absolutely superb, and what a season it was. But he then set an expectation in a lot of Newcastle fans' minds that he can overachieve every season and keep doing this. And now we're seeing he can't.
No, we've got limits.
I don't think any manager could carry on that trajectory Especially when we mentioned at the start of the show, we didn't sign anyone for 5 windows. So you can't keep expecting him to pull miracles out of his backside. You really can't.
And he's not going to get a respite at the end of this season. Bearing in mind, if he completes the season at Newcastle, he's not going to get the respite at the end of the season because he wants to get his signings in. If we are going to do business, if we're going to do a big rebuild like everybody's, contemplating or expecting, if you're going to do that, he's going to have to get it done very quickly in the first 2-3 weeks after the end of the season, because the World Cup is starting immediately after that.
Well, this is it. It's going to be very, very difficult to do that because a lot of players will say, I'm not interested in talking about moving clubs yet until the World Cup's finished.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's going to be very, very difficult. Yeah. By the way, Juventus are playing at home tonight and getting absolutely dicked off Lazio 2-0 at the moment. So there's no way Tonali's going back to Juventus if they don't finish in a Champions League spot.
Yep. So what do you say to fans?
There are quite a few clubs in this country, and I would imagine also, certainly in Italy, and maybe Spain too, who are planning to change their managers in the summer. In other words, stick with what they've got for now, and then change in the summer. And I can tell you one name who will be touted around by his agent, and with some justification. It's Sebastian Hoeneß, who is currently coach at Stuttgart.
That's the one you wanted, wasn't it? That's the manager you wanted to take over.
But he's come to the fore again.
Has he?
Yeah. He took over Stuttgart. They're in the relegation zone. He saved them from relegation. 12 months later, they were in the Champions League. He's a very good, progressive, proactive coach, and he has admirers in this country. I don't know about Italy, but I'm assuming he has in Italy, and I'm assuming he will have in Spain as well.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the manager that got the best out of Nick Voltemata in his one season with Stuttgart?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you whether that was the case. All I know is I know he got them together as a collective unit, and they bought into him, and they were floundering in the Bundesliga, and he changed it all almost at a stroke. Saved them from relegation, and then the following season, Champions League. So he knows he clearly knows his stuff. He's for those who might be wondering about the name, those who are watching, he is the son of Dieter Hoeneß and the nephew of Uli Hoeneß. Now, Uli Hoeneß was one of the great German players. Dan, you remember Uli Hoeneß?
Yep.
One of the great German players of the past sort of 40, 50 years, and he's his nephew.
Right. Wow.
So it's in his DNA anyway. But it's just all I'm saying, it's a name to watch out for. I mean, if Newcastle, Everton could well be one of those clubs who are thinking of making a change in the summer. I'm not saying Newcastle are, by the way, because I think it will be a mistake.
I think the only change happens if Eddie moves to England, if Tuchel gives it up, like he says he's going to after the World Cup. I can see.
Well, you couldn't blame Eddie Howe for that.
Well, exactly. So that's the way I see a change happening. I don't think the board and the owners are interested in letting Eddie go yet because he's got previous with us showing how well we do. This is a blip, and to be honest with you, I've written the Premier League season off now. I mean, you look at the table. We're 12th now. There's no way we're catching Chelsea 10 points behind them into 5th. So we're not getting Champions League football. I mean, we're 7 points behind Liverpool to get into Europa League. And then there's potentially 7th spot for the Europa Conference.
The Conference League. Yep.
Now, personally, the Europa Conference League, if we get into it, there's a great opportunity just to forget about that competition and let the kids play and let them get experience and let's see how good they are. Because I think that would be too much of a distraction So I would like to, if we do qualify for that tournament, forget about it. Europa League, it's worth winning it because you get a spot in the Champions League the following season.
Yeah.
So anything less than that, I wouldn't be bothered about. But I can't see us qualifying for Europe now. It's just one of those things. And this picture summed up the whole game for me by the end of it. These two were the ones who really try now. Lewis Hall, if he is not on the plane to the World Cup, Tuchel's made a big mistake because I think he's the best left back in our country. I really do. He was absolutely superb.
He's been superb. He's been superb for over a month. If he's fit, he is the best player on the park. Every week in, week out. Harry, I don't. Go ahead.
I was just about to say he tore Everton to bits.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're not bad defensively in that situation.
I mean, there's an argument to play 3-4-3 every week now, but when we've got someone at right wing back who can actually run up and down the pitch, if you put Tino back out there with Lewis Hall on the other side, that would help.
If you've got one of those, could you give them to us, please?
Well, we've got one. He's injured. He's injured.
As we've got a wonderful centre half, Jake O'Brien, playing at right back, can't cross the halfway line, and we've got a left back, Mikalenko, who actually did cross the halfway line at Fulham and got an assist. Goodness sake! But we're two fullbacks short, basically.
Yeah. Well, we could play 3-4-3 quite comfortably going forward if we want to. When Trippier, not when Tino's fit. Or when Lewis Miley's fit, because Lewis Miley can play in that position as well, and he's quick enough to do it. So, and that personally, I think that brings the best out of Lewis Hall because he can go forward more because he knows his free centre back sitting back. So, I don't know.
And unfortunately, Trippier's just getting slower. I hate to say it, I really do. I mean, even losing Lewis Miley to injury as our makeshift wingback, he's been terrific. So just right now, as Baz said earlier, our defense is picking itself. The only change right now we've got is Dan Burn. I did want to ask one question. I know that we're at the hour, Baz. There's been a lot made of the fact that Jamal Lascelles couldn't get any game time at Newcastle because he apparently wasn't fit He wasn't mentally ready and everything. He gets a free transfer to Leicester City and walks straight into the starting 11. Possibility that there may have been a schism or something between him and the technical staff. I mean, he was very highly thought of. Obviously, club captain for 10 years. But for whatever reason, he was not fit enough to play over the last 18 months. He was physically fit, but apparently his mind wasn't in the right area, or that's what Eddie said when he was pressed upon it. And then he walked straight into the starting 11 at Leicester. So what do we make of that?
Tough one. There's obviously something going on. I just don't think Eddie thinks he was up to the level to play in this league. And again, we all knew he was leaving. So why risk an injury? And then he ends up staying around for another 6 months.
And then anybody who says, but he captained the side that beat PSG at St. James's Park. 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
And then got injured and then was away from the starting 11 for 18 months. That's not something that can be ignored. So,
Well, obviously, I'm not as close to it as you guys, but when I saw it was deadline day, he signed, wasn't it? When I saw Lascelles had gone to Leicester for a free, I just struck me as being a strange deal. That's all I could think of. And to go to a club which is now fighting relegation in the Championship, I thought, well, he would be worthy of a sort of a top 6 club in the Championship, one would have thought. Or, if you like, the Wolves, who will be in the Championship next season. But I'm just surprised he went to Leicester. Surprised to start with that he was leaving Newcastle, but surprised that he ended up at Leicester.
Yeah, he only had 6 months left of his contract. So You know,
Oh, well, there you go.
It was the right thing to do. To be fair, that gets him playing football. Gives Leicester a fighting chance of staying up because he'll bring a bit of extra quality in that league.
Yeah, but he joined Leicester before they got a 6-point deduction, didn't he?
Yeah,
True.
he did. Yeah, it's a good point.
He dropped them right in the mire.
Forgot about that.
All right, Baz. Final words?
Keep the faith.
Yep.
That's it.
I agree. Elton, what do you have any advice for Newcastle fans at this moment in time?
Oh, yes. Stay calm. Seriously, stay calm. Put your faith in the manager. He will get you. You're not in trouble. Hey, trouble was Everton over the past 5 years, fighting relegation, having to go to manager, just to survive in the Premier League. You're better than that. Yeah. And I personally believe, and not because he's a boy at Everton either, I think Eddie Howe is perfectly perfect for the job in hand at Newcastle. I really do.
I well said. Yep, 100% in agreement with you, Elton. Scotty, last word, sir.
In Eddie, we trust. Let's get behind the lads. Let's go and beat Spurs, and just keep going. Let's not panic.
You will.
Like
you'll beat Spurs, Scotty. Don't worry.
We'll very quickly run through, and I know we typically don't do this, but for whatever reason, when I'm at the helm, this happens. Just remind everybody that they can become a member of our channel for as little as 99p a month, and the super chat function is available when down in the donation area or whatever. I never get that one right, Baz. But all proceeds go into the channel, and for anything that's left over, we give to charity. Also like to remind everyone of Joseph Spinney and his family down there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Dyer Crow, and their fantastic line of Newcastle related gear. It's not only stuff that you can wear and stuff. Sparky Buddy has a fantastic bedding set that we've been told about that has all kinds of stuff of Newcastle emblems and stuff on it. So that's stuff to look at. And you can use BAZ20, BAZ20 for 20% off. If you are coming to the Northeast and don't know anything about it except for Newcastle United, get in touch with Sparky Buddy at Geordieland Experience. Drink a Red Bull, go on a tour. It's a blast. He knows so very much about the area, and they're having a great time. Multi-award winning operation they've got over there at the Geordieland Experience. Also, Prince Charming in Wall's End. They are sponsoring the our charity night on Friday, the 27th of February, which I will also talk about here in just a second. But lots of Newcastle United paraphernalia, movie paraphernalia, music paraphernalia, lots of stuff there. If you're looking for gifts for loved ones, give them a shout. Go over to Wall's End and check them out. And then again, yes, I would be remiss if I didn't mention again our fantastic evening on Friday, February 27th at Newcastle Benfield Football Club. You're going to listen to Dan and Baz talk with Graham Bailey for a little bit, and then we're going to turn the mics over to the legends themselves, Super Mac and Gibbo, Malcolm McDonald, John Gibson. Elton, you and John know each other well, I would think. Yep.
I wouldn't say well, but we certainly met a few times. I think I met him when I was at Radio City. Would that be in sort of the mid 70s? Would he be there then?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So again, tickets are £15 per person. Again, for to hear these two guys and their best friends, they're going to riff for over an hour and talk about all things Newcastle United. £15 is a steal. Every penny for the night. The appearance fees, Super Mac and Gibbo are waiving. The facility fees from Benfield, they're being waived. Everything is going into the charity that benefits both Azure, which is Gibbo's charity, and the Butterwick Hospice both fantastic charities. Everything's going to those charities. We're looking to raise at least £1,000 per charity there. So as Baz says, it's a fantastic little venue. The beers are cheap, the drinks are cheap, and you have the opportunity to also meet Scott, and the Devlin boys will be in the house that day, and Baz and John O'Hare will be there. We'll have a great group of folks. So I hope that you will come and see us and join us in that evening. If you are looking to buy tickets, you can freeze the frame here and use the QR code. It'll take you straight to the Try Booking website, and you can order your tickets there. And I think our next show will be Monday, and I think we are on.
We're hosting.
Is that? And we are on there. Are we hosting? They're hosting.
We're hosting this one.
We're hosting. So tomorrow night we'll be on again for Geordies versus Mackhams. Mackham, Cabby, and Rob and Don and everybody will be there. And that's always a great bit of banter there. So I think I covered it all, Baz.
You did.
I stumbled through it, but it's there.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Dan?
I know it's as a Californian, it's being played at the 49ers stadium. That's only that's only 55 miles away from my house, Elton. I know I'm going against the grain here, but I just can't stand the Patriots. I can't. So I'm not rooting for Seattle, but I'm rooting for Seattle. I know they're in the same conference as the Niners, so it's almost heresy for me to even support the Seahawks. But I have a couple of really close friends who are Seahawks fans. We took our daughter up to Seattle on her 10th birthday, and they were in the playoffs. And just seeing the amount of support that the entire city, the whole city calls themselves the 12th man, and you go by shops and they've got Seahawks jerseys hanging in the front window with the number 12 on them. I mean, it felt very much like being on Tyneside, Elton, just the way the whole city was pulling together for them. So great. And Tom Brady, is down at Birmingham, and we don't have to worry about any of that with the Patriots anymore. So I'm saying the Seahawks. I don't know what's going to happen today because I'm not even going to watch it. I'll find out what the result is later. I'm a Vikings fan, and they haven't been to a Super Bowl in 30 plus years. So I'm going to go Seahawks. And Edward Contreras, I know he's been in the chat. He wanted to say go Pats. Wanted us to say go Pats, but I can't. So there you go. We'll see. I'm not giving you a winner, Elton. I'm just going to say go Seahawks. Go Seabirds. Okay. So there you go. Gentlemen, thank you. Baz, Jules says paracetamol, mate. Just, I hope you feel better. We'll see you tomorrow about that. Scotty.
Straight to bed.
Mr. Devlin, always a pleasure, sir. Elton, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, my friend. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
There's Owen. Bye, Owen. Good to see you. Uncle Dan says, love you, mate. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jules, Les, Gary, Robbie, everybody who's been in the chat. Have a great evening. We'll see you soon.